It looks like there's maybe finally some concrete transfer news in Newcastle United. And you wouldn't believe who we would be getting rid of. Because it's Chris Wood and I couldn't resist doing some of them puns. Stick around, we're going to discuss. Mr. Chris Wood looks like he's on his way out. Welcome back to another video on Black and White Bat.net. You lovely, lovely, lovely Newcastle fans. You get 3 today. If you are new, I'm saying welcome back. If you're a loyal subscriber of mine, then fantastic. Nice to see you again. If you're brand new to this channel, you were maybe just stumbling for something else, maybe a DIY video, maybe a cooking channel, who knows. Regardless of that, give us one of these now. A little like means nothing to you, but it means a very great deal to me, and it helps us get in that little algorithm. If you like my opinion by the end of this video, stick around by whacking that subscribe and become one of my loyal subscribers and get us across all social media. We don't just talk about Newcastle on serious videos like this. We do all sorts of jokey stuff across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. Do that now. So it's January. It's been a quiet January compared to last January, hasn't it? My God, last year was like running through the supermarket, like a supermarket sweep. Chucking players in left, right and centre as we try to avoid relegation. It's been a little bit quieter this time around, little sniffs here and there. Don't really expect any big incomings, but the first bit of what looks like concrete transfer news is out. Mr. Chris Wood, it looks like he's on the way to Nottingham Forest on loan for the rest of the season with an option to buy. Now, I'm not going to sit here, as I don't think any Newcastle fan would, and say that I'm saddened by this news. I'm not. I'd be lying if I said that. But Chris Wood, when he was signed in January, to sum up his career at Newcastle, if he's never to kick a ball for us again, which it sounds, you know, that option to buy, we'll see how that goes. I don't know whether they may take that. We don't know what the terms and conditions, what the cost would be, anything like that yet in the contract. We signed Chris Wood in January when Callum Wilson was injured and we needed a striker in that desperate bid to avoid relegation that I mentioned at the start of this video. And he helped with that. And no one's going to deny that. You look back on some of his more significant goals. His header against Southampton that helped us get the win when Bruno scored the winner. He scored a penalty against Wolves. When I think about Chris Wood, I think very old-fashioned. And we signed him from a team in Burnley that didn't play much of a ball on the floor kind of game, let's say politely. And he was suited to that. Chris Wood relies on balls getting pumped into the box. He relies on hold up. He likes people to run off him. He's not a possession striker in my opinion. He's not a pass and move striker. He's as old-fashioned as they come. And he served a purpose. Eddie Howe was still putting his identity on the team. The main aim was to avoid relegation and build from there, and we did that in magnificent style. And Chris Wood had a very big say in that, and I thank him for that. But Chris Wood knows, hand on heart, I'm sure he does when he's sat at home having a glass of wine with his wife, that he is not a long-term part of this project. Callum Wilson is, Isaac, for all that money that we signed him for, is, and Chris Wood's game time is going to be limited. You know, he got a bit of game time against Sheffield Wednesday. He's come on in very small substitution roles. He's played more recently when Callum Wilson's been injured and hasn't offered anything, I'll be totally honest. I think he's had a chance to impress Eddie Howe in the cup game against Bournemouth when the football restarted. He played a bit of a part. He just hasn't done the business more recently. And every single time I do a video and talk about a game where Chris Wood's played, I say the same thing, that our style of football has to change to suit him. And Eddie Howe doesn't allow that. We are still going to be high pressing. We're still going to be pass and move. We are still going to be a possession-based football team. And Chris Wood slows us down. Almiron, Maximin, Willock, Joe Linton, Bruno, all dynamic footballers. Chris Wood, very static, wants it to his chest, waits for people to run off, moves from there, wants a ball in the box. We aren't even... It's just for me one of them. It's goodbye, Chris. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your help in what you did for us. And that's pretty much it. It's not what we sad about. But the biggest question for me is, firstly, can he help Nottingham Forest enough to get that deal made permanent in the summer, which I'm sure Newcastle officials will want, so we can get some money for him. I don't see Chris Wood from a Nottingham Forest point of view as being too different to that Owoniyi, the big striker that they have already at the football club. Very similar. He's probably a little bit more of a powerful runner from when I've watched him play. Likes to run the channels a little bit more. Has actually been played on either side for Nottingham Forest, I believe. So he's not too dissimilar to him. I don't think Chris Wood, maybe he is. You know, I'm saying he's not the answer. He did a job for us. I mean, Nottingham Forest are sitting 13th, so no disrespect to them, but you would still expect Nottingham Forest to be in the relegation battle come the end of the season. Who knows? It's a funny old game, but that's where you'd expect Chris Wood to be battling. So I don't know. Can he get that permanent move? Can we get him off our books? That would be nice. But it begs the question, in my opinion, the only thing I'm worried about, this leaves us short. So Callum Wilson's hamstrings are made of glass. Isak, we don't know, now that he's had his first big career injury when he first came to the club, we don't know whether that's going to reoccur. That tends to happen with footballers. Touch wood that it doesn't. That leaves us very short. We don't have a Dwight Gale hiding in the background anymore, picking up his wages where needed. So without Chris Wood, I don't like St. Maximin playing up top. That's been tried and tested, and I hate it. I don't think he likes it neither. So we're short. So you would assume this lovely recruitment team that we have, and Eddie Howe, and everything that we have in place at this lovely football club, as it is today, would have a plan in place to bring someone else in. Because two strikers, when one of them gets injured as often as Callum Wilson done, and make no mistake about it, he will get injured before the end of the season again. I know he will. I don't know where that leaves us. We are trying to push for this top four. We are trying to push for that Wembley trip, Newcastle fans. I would like to hope there's a replacement due to come in, or someone who can maybe operate a wing/forward. Sort of quite a diverse forward player. I don't know. Please, Newcastle fans, let me know your thoughts on Chris Wood leaving the football club. It looks like. Do you think he'll be leaving permanently, or do you think it won't work for him in Nottingham Forest? Let me know in the comments. And any Nottingham Forest fans, what do you think about Chris Wood? Feel free to fire some questions. I just want to finish by saying I'm grateful to the man. He served a purpose for us. He joined us in a different spell and a different time to what we are in now, despite it only being a year. He's been loyal to us. He's a certain type of striker, and unfortunately for him, he's a certain type of striker that doesn't necessarily have the level of ability or the playing style to suit where this football club has gone faster than expected. I'm sure he's devastated to be leaving, but thank you very much for your service, Chris. Let me know your thoughts, Newcastle fans, who you'd like to maybe see come in, or maybe we don't need to replace him. If you've stuck around this long, whack that like, whack that subscribe button, and please get us across all social media. My next video will probably be a Crystal Palace match preview before the Premier League football starts again. So I'll see you in a couple of days. Until then, enjoy being a Newcastle United fan, because it's glorious at the moment and I'm loving every minute. Away the lads.